Sometimes we know what's the right decision, but we don't make it. Sometimes we know what we like, but then we don't go after it. Sometimes we want to start a new hobby, but we never do that. Sometimes we know that we want to commit in this relationship, but we don't do it. Sometimes we know what we need to do in order to get the promotion, but we don't do it. So if you notice that you sabotage yourself in many different ways, in many areas of your life, then probably complex trauma might be behind that self sabotage. And let's see what that means. Hi, I'm Vasi Sarandopoulou. I'm your trusted psychologist, and I'm here to give you insight from the psychology world so that you can start understanding yourself and your relationship better. Now, what is complex trauma? Trauma, as you have heard it before, probably, it's the result of the emotional overwhelmness through an emotionally or physically traumatic experience. It occurs when the brain is into the fight or flight mode, and then after we have healed, it comes back to the normal relaxed state. When we experience a traumatic event, what happens is that the limbic system in our brain is activated. This is when our brain goes into the fight or flight mode. This is when our whole body is on alert. And once the danger passes, then our brain and our body comes back to a relaxed mode. However, this is not the case with complex trauma. Complex trauma means that you have been exposed for a long period to an emotionally traumatic experience. In that case, the limbic system doesn't get the chance to go back into the resting mode. It's still on the fight or flight mode for a long period. It doesn't allow the stress hormones to go down. It doesn't allow your body to feel safe again. That's what it means. And what we mean with being exposed for a long time, for a long period, to traumatic experiences. Let me give you some examples. If you have been raised in a family where your needs and your feelings had been chronically neglected and you have been abandoned, sexual abuse or any kind of physical abuse, enmeshment, violation of your boundaries, emotional, mental, or physical boundaries, emotional abuse, manipulation, being raised by parents who are narcissists, living in a war zone, or being a parentified children where you learn from early on in your life to be the parent in the family instead of being the child. So all these experiences, which mean, of course, that either there was the presence of a negative experience or the absence of a positive experience in your upbringing, both can coexist, lead to complex trauma. So then your next question might be, then how do I recognize if I have been through complex trauma? How can I see the signs? What kind of signs can I see? So, as I said before in the beginning, one strong sign can be when you sabotage yourself, when you abandon yourself and your feelings, when you are not feeling connected with yourself. And a word that we use for that is dissociation. When you realize that you detach sometimes from your environment, you dissociate, you have some memory blocks, you don't remember what happened, you don't remember what people around you had said. Also, when you experience hyperarousal, you're all the time on alert, you're restless, you're very active all the time. When you have flashbacks, when you have problems with your sleep, when you experience struggles and conflicts in your relationships and your relationships with your partner triggers a lot of fears in you, when you tend to isolate too much, and when you realize that you have low self-esteem and low self-confidence. So these are some signals that you have gone through complex trauma. But your next question might be, then how do we heal from complex trauma? So first and foremost, that's something that you can try to do by yourself. You can, of course, facilitate the healing from complex trauma, and I'm going to give you some ideas for that. But healing will happen faster. Healing will happen in a better way when you do that together with a therapist. The therapist might use CBT, might use chemotherapy, might use EMDR, eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, and any other therapist that your psychologist might use so that you can get in touch with yourself, with your inner child, and heal from the trauma that you were subjected to. What you can do as an individual so that you can start healing from this complex trauma is get in touch with your body. As we said before, when we are going through complex trauma, We dissociate from our feelings, from our needs, and from our body. Our body doesn't feel like a safe place to be. We're not connected with that. So, one thing that we always do is we start creating that safe connection again with our body. What can help with that? That can be, for example, grounding techniques. When you get in touch with your breath, when you start breathing normally, when you get in touch with the feelings that you have inside you, when you practice box breathing, and I'm going to share the link with you in the description so that you can see what is box breathing. That can give your brain the message that our body is a safe place to be. We are again in control of our body. We know what's happening inside us, and that's okay. And of course, any other physical activity like dancing or yoga or Tai Chi, something again that brings us in connection with all the different parts of our body and with our breathing, is a great way to build that connection again. Another thing that you can try is lots of self care, allowing yourself enough time to sleep, having a steady routine for your lunch, for your meals, for your exercise. When you have a steady, stable routine, that helps again with this message of safety that we want to create inside us. What I usually do and suggest to all my clients is reading self-help books. It helps you see not only techniques and tips that you can use, but also how connected you can be with other people around you that they have gone through similar experience. You're not alone in that. There are many, many, many people, millions of people that they have gone through complex trauma, and they are all trying in their own way to heal from that and to come out at the other side of the tunnel stronger and healthier. So I leave you with that. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want more resources on how to understand complex trauma or how to heal from complex trauma. And of course, I'm going to share with you resources, but also I will create more videos related to your questions. Thank you very much for being here today. Thank you very much for being part of this community that loves self-growth and self-awareness. Until next video, take good care of yourself.